Welcome everybody to this presentation. Today we'll be presenting on Giardiasis. This presentation is compiled by Giardiasis. Now these are the outline we will be following in the presentation. We will have some brief introduction about the disease Giardiasis. We'll see how Giardiasis is classified. We'll look at the vector responsible for carrying the causative organism. We will look at the causative organism which is responsible for causing the disease. We'll have a brief presentation on the life cycle of the causative organism. Then we will look at how transmission of this disease is done. We will look at areas where this disease can be found, the global distribution. We will look at the habitat inside human host to be specific. Then we'll see how we can prevent and control these diseases or the causative organism or the vector. Then we'll look at how these diseases can be treated. Now let's get started. The introduction. Now, Giardiasis is a parasitic infection caused by protozoan parasite called the Giardia intestinalis or Giardia duodenalis or the Giardia lambelia. Now, this disease is always present as a diarrheal illness affecting human and animals. So when we say diarrheal illness, it means mostly found in the form of a stool, a running diarrhea. Now, when we come to the classification of this organism, the Giardia lambelia, now we can find this Giardia lambelia in the kingdom Protista. Now, subkingdom Protozoa, phylum Sarcomastigophora, subphylum Mastigophora. The class we can locate it in the Zoomastigophora, the order Diplomonadida, and the family Hexametidae, then the genus, the Giardia, and the species we have the Lambelia. Now we look at the vector responsible for transmitting or causing this disease. Now mostly what happened in this Giardiasis is that Giardiasis do not have intermediate host or vector involved. It does not really have a vector. How diseases are transmitted is direct transmission from infected individual or animal to successful host. Now we look at the causative organism, the organism responsible for causing the organism responsible for causing the infection or the disease. Now the Giardia intestinalis or the Giardia lambelia or the Giardia duodenalis, these organisms are responsible for causing the disease Giardiasis. Now mostly when you look at it, morphologically they are flagellated protozoan parasites. They are flagellated in nature and they exhibit two forms. We have the trophozoite and we have the cyst form. Now mostly in the trophozoite form, the trophozoa has two nuclei. It has a tail, it has 4 pair of legs, and it is a heart shape in form. While the cyst has 4 nuclei, it looks oval and it's encysted by a covering called the cyst. Now the morphological differences between the trophozoite, which is A, and the cyst, which is the B. Now looking at the morphological characteristics, these are the pair of legs the trophozoite is having. In all, it has 8 legs, which can be summarized into 4 pair of legs. Now look at the nuclei here, one here, making 2 nuclei. Now when you come to the cyst, we have 4 in number. This is 1 nuclei, this is another nuclei, this is another one, and this is the 4th one. Now the legs of flagella in this one are not in the cyst. Yes, and looking at the shape, this one just looks like a heart or a pear, while this one is just oval in nature. Now we look at the life cycle. Now with the life cycle, we have this life cycle occurring in what? In human. And mostly there are two stages. We have the infective stage and we have the diagnostic stage. Now with the infective stage, the cyst is the infective state and the diagnostic state is the trophozoite. Now, when an animal defecates, mostly animals infected with Giardiasis, when defecated, now they release both the cyst and the trophozoite in the feces. Now, when this feces contaminate food, fruits, water, or any other thing that man ingests, now mostly the trophozoites do not withstand the environmental conditions outside the host because it depends solely on the nutrient from the man. So once that is released, it's starving to death. While the cyst can survive, no, when we take in these contaminants into our gut system, now it passes down to the small intestine. Now when it gets to the small intestine, the cyst will insist producing two trophozoites. Now these two trophozoites undergo binary fission to produce two and undergo binary fission to produce the trophozoite and the cyst again.